Perfect. Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Just a brief introduction of Kasisto as a company. Essentially, we were spun out of SRI, the Stanford Research Institute, back in 2014, which was on the back of a collaboration between SRI and BBVA, the Spanish banking conglomerate, essentially to create a financial services virtual assistant. So we essentially had the AI and the data science smarts of SRI combined with the deep financial services knowledge of BBVA. So we've been working across the globe in a number of different banks, specifically in digital assistance for financial services. From an investment perspective, we recently just concluded our Series C funding, taking our total VC funding to date to $67 million. The Series C was led by NCR. We have a deep partnership with NCR, predominantly out of the United States, but they led this Series C round recently. Just in terms of what we actually do from a solution perspective, essentially we provide intelligent digital assistance specifically targeted for financial institutions across these 3 segments. Consumer banking, so really looking at the consumers out there across checking accounts, credit cards, home loan products, unsecured lending. So that's dealing with financial literacy and information around accounts, but also full transaction capability for consumers. We also have investment management, which is being pioneered out of Westpac down in Australia. So really looking at trading of stocks, as well as portfolio balancing and management. And then our business banking capability. And we have quite a significant deployment there in the treasury management space, specifically deployed at JP Morgan and recently the Bank of Montreal. So you could see just by the breadth of it, we have quite a long-standing pedigree of working with some of the largest financial services organizations on the planet in a number of different markets, from Singapore, the US, actually in the UAE with deployment at Live with Emirates NBD, and then a couple of deployments with ABSA. I think that's 10 banks in 9 countries in Africa. So the platform itself, we are deployed at scale with some proven results. We deployed, as I said, in 16 different countries in multiple languages. Key thing around our technology is that our AI models are pre-trained with upwards of 4,000 proven skills, proven in production. Usage of the platform, over 18 million actual users of the technology in both authenticated and unauthenticated transactions. Essentially, what we drive from a results perspective is core containment. So AI in front of your call center or your live agent. We're looking to actually get the assistant to address the customer's queries or transactions without the need of any human intervention. The benefit of obviously putting AI first is that you can reduce the volume of any live agent requirements, and we have results in the field of upwards of 50%. The primary thing at the moment, to keep banks relevant is this engagement portion. So actually engaging, new generations in their platform of choice is kind of key these days, to remain relevant with upcoming neobanks in your market. So from a business driver perspective, these are the 3 main pockets that we focus on. As I mentioned on the previous slide, the servicing element, but we also look at actually acquiring new clients, so getting new products sold to customers. And then the engagement piece, really fighting for the lion's share of your customers, your existing customers' wallets. These 3 things are what we track from an ROI perspective. We do obviously alignment to your existing core drivers to build out an appropriate business case prior to actually moving into a production environment. We do have a deployment already in the UAE with Emirates NBD and their deployments of their digital-only bank Live. This was launched as Olivia. So if you want to take it for a test drive, if you have an account with Live, you could get a view of exactly what we currently deploy today. It is deployed obviously in a mobile banking application, both Android and iOS, and does a handover to Fresh Chat from a live agent perspective. But we do have the ability to embed our capability in a web experience, in a mobile experience, and then in a range of different messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and then also directly in front of the call center in terms of digital voice. So actually people phoning in on a digital number with something like AWS and actually having the digital assistant address
Justin,
concerns that.
if you don't mind, I need to interrupt you. The 5 minutes is out.
That's it. My last slide.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Judges, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate the presentation. Short and sweet. My first question, you're going to be depending heavily on data and AI, and that would be provided by your solution too, or you're only providing the front end that will connect with APIs to the back end?
No, we are providing the data as well. So the underlying models of the skills that we provide, those are part and parcel to our solution. That it comes with a built-in CMS. So you actually can then customize the responses back going to your customer. But those are out of the box. From an AI perspective, those models are pre-trained and deployed from our perspective. The only data that we essentially need to access from a bank perspective is the back-end systems. So obviously the core account information, where the actual transactions are, that we tightly integrate through a series of APIs that we provide both on the back end, and then we have another layer on the front end to embed in your mobile experience or in your web experience.
So actually, in reality, you're providing a kind of like a digital platform where you have your your lead management system, your CRM that will feed into your front end solution.
100%, and that's the key thing around it. As you mature the experience, you can plug in other data points from a back-end perspective, and that's what we found in most of our engagements. Is that as you plug in one channel, let's take the banking support team in CRM, right. You essentially expand the usage of the platform, and that's I could bring up the architecture if you want to take a look, but I think it was in the slides that we put forward.
To be honest with you, when we did the shortlisting of your company, we did not think about the CRM solution. We're working on a CRM solution right now. But if you can be providing the CRM, that will complete the story, by the way, from the back end to the front end, tying all the customer, 360-degree view. And you can take social. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the other piece is just, I see you going down the social route. We obviously can embed directly inside, Facebook Messenger, for instance, so that if someone wanted to interact with the digital assistants in that platform, they do have the ability to do that also. Okay, excellent. So it's a full servicing capability, as well as getting things like spend analysis, products that are available. If you have a particular offer at a point in time, if you essentially want to have that as push notification out to customers, we do have that capability too. And you've talked, it's an SDK, can be fully integrated within our mobile app. What about the online and web? Yeah, so either of those, that's really a choice on your side. Most of our customers, because you want a consistent look and feel in terms of the experience, we typically would deploy both. So you would have an online experience, from the web, as well as the same capability deployed in mobile. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. No, I was just going to say the only piece is that, obviously design considerations, messaging platforms like WhatsApp aren't as feature rich in terms of graphics and imagery. So there are some design considerations, but web and mobile, you really can go to town with that. There's a lot available. All right, 2 more questions from me and I'll let you go. I've asked you this question last time in regard to the IVR. So you guys, as a digital assistant, you can fully integrate with our IVR system to continue that journey. We'll provide the same flavor, same look and feel from our mobile, online, and IVR, right? That's 100% correct. Excellent. Yeah. So the IVR piece poses a number of interesting use cases where you can use voice. So in other words, you're phoning through and you've actually got the digital assistant using voice, speaking back to the customer. Great for things like card activations. So there are a number of use cases there that really work quite well.
And that will work for English, Arabic, Hindi. I mean, do you support any voice recognition languages?
So that voice recognition piece itself is provided natively through AWS or Google. So it's really relied on what they provide from a voice perspective.
Okay, and my last question is just, I'm curious, for the journey itself.
Sure.
You mentioned there is only one bank, which is JP Morgan, when it comes to the corporate channel. I'm interested to know, very just briefly, what kind of digital assistant you provide to the cash management solution?
So things like 32-day positions on particular accounts, and it's actually about the banks. There's a team usually on the customer side that use the platforms themselves. A lot of the treasury management solutions are quite difficult to navigate, so it's actually using deep links to make the navigation simpler. So almost an enterprise search capability embedded in there. So there's a range of different things that we provide there, and it's a great reference to have, and they usually are available to discuss how we've deployed. But just a small correction, it is two. It's Bank of Montreal and JP Morgan.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. No question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Any further questions? We're good.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, and best of luck. Okay, let's introduce Blue Rush, Elizabeth.